Hi, how are you guys? So, this is gonna be my first real video upload. So, welcome. I'm super grateful for all of you here. And there's been a lot of apprehension in starting this project. This is something that I've wanted to do for a really long time. Something that I've felt a call for doing for a really long time, and I just haven't really known where to start. I have a lot of interests. I have a lot of things I want to share. And I know that through a lot of different experiences that I've had, there's a lot of wisdom to share, a lot of, I feel like, epiphanies that have come to me, or I suppose downloads, right? Gifts of information from either my higher self, God, ancestors, guides. And it just feels like because there's so much of it, like, where do I start? What topic do I start with? I don't know. I just don't know. So I'm starting here with my journey. I'm just putting something out here. And I truly believe that there is something that's here to share, that there's something that people out there will connect with. And I pray that you find this. I pray that there's something that speaks to you, that helps inspire you, helps you start on this journey of expressing yourself in whatever way that is meant to be. And that has so many different forms, right? But you are amazing, and what you have to share is important. And I think oftentimes we forget that, or we're conditioned out of that. And that's one of the big things that I think is really coming up lately, is this idea that we're starting to remember more and more about who we are, about what our gifts are, what our passions are, what our dreams are, things that we had when we were kids, and that felt and made us feel alive, right? There was joy in our hearts. There was no dream too big to dream. And it can be really sad when, as children, we don't get to dream those dreams. We don't get to really live those realities. We have to grow up too fast. Or our environmental reality, our external reality that we are, living at that moment, there's no room for that. Nothing shows us that that's actually possible. And so we think that that's not actually possible. We grow up believing that, oh, that's just a childhood fantasy, just a kid having an imagination. It's not real. That can never be. And so, we grind on, or we persevere. And there's a lot of beauty in that perseverance. Every person's journey is unique. And some are filled with so many more trials and difficulties than others. And it's hard to go through that. And you're validated. I want you to know that you're validated for all the pain that you went through, all of the hardship that you went through. You're not wrong for being made feel wrong. You're not wrong for feeling like your childhood was stripped from you. You're not wrong for experiencing the suppression or the guilt or the shame or the having to be an adult when you were just a child and all you wanted to do was be a child. Like, you're not wrong in any of those experiences or any of them that I have not mentioned, right? And don't feel like you had to go through something that crazy to also be validated in whatever your experience was. Maybe for you, overall, your childhood was great. But maybe it came from something a teacher said. Maybe it came from something a friend of a family member said. That something in you was pushed down. Something that made you feel alive was snuffed out. And I don't want any of you to compare your experience or belittle that experience to somebody who has gone through the craziest of the crazy and the darkest of the dark. Because ultimately, each of our journeys is our own. And each is significant to our journey, our purpose, and what we're meant to do in this world, and who we're meant to be for the people around us and for this world, and what we're meant to do to lift up humanity. And that can be the small ripple. Like, you don't have to be somebody on the grand stage or on a TED Talk or on YouTube or on TikTok or Instagram, or maybe you are, right? But like, what I'm saying is you don't have to be that in order to have a significant difference in the world. It can be in the people and the lives that you touch around you, or the animals, or the nature. Everything is living. I have chills. Everything is living, and it's so beautiful. And who you are has an impact on all of it. From the very smallest, simple thing that you do. A compliment that you share, a smile. Smiles go such a long way. A hug. Being a listening ear without judgment. Seeing someone for who they are, not who society says they are. There's some people that, like, it's amazing. I think many of us have had that experience where when someone sees you, like a complete stranger or someone you haven't known very long, and they say something about who you are for them, or what they see in you and what you provide into an environment. It's just like, it takes you back. You're like, wait, how do you know that? how can you see that? You don't know me. But it feels so amazing to feel that. And if you can be that for somebody else, essentially you're channeling something for them. God is speaking through you. Light is speaking through you. Love is speaking through you. There's so much hate and fear in this world. I don't know if there will ever be truly a time where hate and fear doesn't ever exist. But I do believe that the more that we spread love, the more that we see one another deeper for the human, the soul, the being that's behind the skin, it's behind a gender, it's behind a race. The more beauty and the more light there will be, the more peace and love there will be. And we can do that. We can do that. And there's so much more of that than I think we even realize that's actually out there. Because that's not something you get to see every day. It's something you get to feel. It's tangible. But it's tangible interpersonally. And you can be a part of that. It can be in your presence and what comes out of you. It can be in your online presence of the comments that you share. People you take a stand up to. And also not wasting your energy on people or bots even, right? Because apparently there's bots out there that just troll things. Because they want us to feel like we're up against so much and that we're not gonna win. And that's only because they're scared. They're scared of your light. They're scared of my light. But our light is so powerful. Know that. Don't forget that. Feel that. Embody that. Just really take a moment to realize how beautiful and how powerful you are. And if no one has ever said that to you, you are beautiful and you are powerful. Powerful. Feel that. Sit with that, please. It's hard to accept that sometimes, especially when that hasn't always been our experience. But that's your truth. That is your truth. So yeah, just take a deep breath and let that sink in. Feel your power. How your words have an impact on your thoughts, on your actions, on your environment, on what you experience from the people around you. And also know that sometimes there's a delay, right? So as we start to believe these things, we don't always see the reflection that fast. Sometimes we do, which is great, right? And sometimes I think God and our collective team, they give us that encouragement quickly so that we can see, like, oh, there is something to this. But don't feel like it slipped away if you don't see it consistently. Sometimes our old patterns want to come back up. Sometimes the things that are like have been keeping us down, like those thought processes, those beliefs, those, for lack of a better term, those demons that like toy with us, that throw negative thoughts in our head. Like, sometimes it's challenging to like get rid of them, but just keep leaving. And when they come in, be like, no, I'm not going to listen to you anymore. That's not my truth. I know my truth, and I am powerful. I am light, and I am love. And I am that because I want to be that, and I know that that is what's deep inside. And you don't need anyone to reaffirm that to you. The more that you reaffirm that to yourself, there will be people in your life that affirm that to you. You will see other videos pop up that affirm that to you. But you don't need that. You think you need that, but you don't need that. The more that you can give that to yourself, because you are that, always you've been that, and you just forgot. And it's okay. We've all forgotten. There's so many of us remembering right now. Now it's your turn to remember. It's your turn to feel that. So, I want you to know that you are light. You are love. You are powerful. Okay? Reaffirm these things to yourself every morning, every evening, and just sit with gratitude to be alive, to have the ability to make choices, to be able to have an impact on those around you, the world around you. And like, that in itself is so powerful. And a lot of the media and the government try to say we don't have that power. They'll try to scare us out of having that power. But our voice is powerful. Our actions are powerful. Our energy is powerful. Our thoughts are powerful. So the more that we believe in what's possible, and that things are possible, and we put action and we're willing to put our words behind that, that makes an impact. It really does, even if you don't always see it. So I want you guys to remember that. It's very, very important. And yeah, if you're like me and you're in a place where you want to start something and you don't know where to start, just start. And talk to yourself. Talk to the part of you that you want to encourage. Maybe it's the part of you that is still struggling to believe. Maybe it's the part of you that was afraid. that you're stepping out of. And so you're speaking to the past you. That looks like the forward me. The past me. Right? Because we're all mirrors of each other. So speaking to that version is going to be speaking to somebody out there who is where you were. And then there's going to be the people where you are. And then there's going to be the people where you're headed, right? And we're all on different parts of our journey, but it's all important. And just please be present with your journey and don't feel like you're behind, because you're not. We all have different times in which we're meant to remember and wake up, and it's all impactful for us and our journey and like what we're supposed to do and who we're supposed to impact and when we're supposed to impact them. And so you waking up or remembering a little bit later than when I did, and me remembering a little bit later than when someone else did, it's all important. It's important that it comes in waves, right? Think of an ocean, right? It's constantly flowing and pulling back, and then flowing and then pulling back, and then flowing and then pulling back. They're taking turns, right? But there's a flow. And if there wasn't that flow, movement would stop. And then what? So just realize that that wave is good. And you're right on track. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. And don't rush anything. Just be with yourself. Love yourself. Put your hand on your heart and on your stomach. And just breathe in and exhale. Feel your body relax. Feel your mind relax. Feel your body settle into itself. Be grateful for yourself and all that you've done. Give yourself praise for how far you've come. Forgive yourself for mistakes. We're human. It's a school that we're in on how to be, how to deal with emotions. Just love yourself the way you needed to be loved. Give yourself that compassion, that forgiveness, and that room to make mistakes. Because every mistake that we make is an opportunity to grow. And I know none of us want to make mistakes. I don't like making mistakes. And it's a big part of why we like hold ourselves back. We're like, I don't want to do it wrong. I don't want to say it wrong. What if I mess up? Okay. Then you messed up. Said it weird. You learn, you practice, you get better. You know? And you're not going to be everyone's cup of tea. So, that's a big thing to remember. Not everyone's going to like you. And that's okay. Because what's meant for you will find you. Just like what's meant for me will find me, and who's meant to find you will find you. And if it doesn't resonate, just move on. Or listen a little longer, see if there's other things, but disregard what doesn't resonate. So you take what resonates and you leave what doesn't. Because maybe there's an aspect in a message that I provide, whether it's today or tomorrow or another day, that there's components that like touch on you, and there's components that are maybe for someone else that is watching, right? Like if we're this mass amount of people in this world, can we really be like there's gonna be specific things for different people, right? At different times. Like not everything is gonna resonate with us, you know? Like, so anyway. I think that's what I got for you guys today. So I'm going to post this. Please, please share in the comments if you feel like something resonated for you. I don't know. Love, encouragement. It's great. pass on some love. If not for me, for someone else. You can drop messages for the collective in here, you know, just like a group, like, love everyone, you know. But anyway, please share if this also like resonates and like you feel like this is gonna resonate for someone else. Save it to listen to later for a reminder. I don't know. Anyway, do what you feel called to, but I appreciate you all being here, and I appreciate you joining me on this journey. I'm excited to see where it goes. I'm excited that I'm finally using my voice and figuring out what that looks like as a whole. So it's going to be great to see the journey of starting with literally just my computer camera and living room and going from there, and seeing how the progress is, you know, seeing how it builds, you know. And so anyway, I appreciate you guys being on this beginning part of the journey with me. Hopefully, you know, I'll see you along the way. And if I do, if I don't, I send you love and blessings. Always good luck to you all. Find your next step. Find what is calling to you, what's been calling to you, and go after it. Even if you don't know exactly where to start, just start somewhere. Even if you do it wrong, even if it's horrible, like just put it out there. And you never know, right? And you might be extremely surprised how well it does. I'm hoping that. But again, like if you put it out there with the intention of just putting something good out there, without the expectation of it becoming viral, then if it does, great. If it doesn't, it doesn't. That's not to say I don't have goals of making viral videos, but just do it because you're sharing. Share from the heart, from your mind, from your soul. Just share the love, and the rest will come. So anyway, that's my advice. Love you again. Thank you. Love and light.